Queen ShanShan, and this is a broadcast podcast. Hey girl, hey! Welcome to a brand new episode of A Broadcast Podcast. It's your girl Queen ShanShan. Last time I checked the stats, we now have listeners in Italy and Kenya. So, ciao and jumbo! In this episode, it's just me and Edward, you guys. We are back, y'all.
Yo, I'm here. I am on the show.
We missed you, Edward.
I missed me too.
Well, you've been here, obviously. You've been here all the episodes. But you and I have not had our time forever.
We sure haven't. It feels nice to be back.
It feels nice to be back.
It felt really nice to do that live stream that we just did.
That's right. If you guys are following us on Facebook, we just did a 5 or 7 minute live stream on Facebook to introduce, obviously, us and to say thank you for listening. It is my birthday.
Let's just get an applause on that.
Let's go.
Dog show.
Dog show. So it is my birthday show. April 17th is my birthday. And I'm an Aries. And it's also Edward's birthday.
All Edward.
We want to acknowledge.
You're all Aries.
I'm all Aries. But we want to acknowledge your birthday.
Yes,
which is April 23rd.
Third, correcto.
And you're a Taurus.
And I'm a Taurus.
Wow.
So we're both cuspy.
I know, we are cuspy. We have the horns. I'm a ram, and you're a ram too.
We're all that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a bull, but...
You're also a Taurus. That's right, Taurus is the bull. But you still have horns on your head.
Yeah, still have horns.
That means don't mess with us.
Means you don't mess with us.
You don't mess with us.
We're not one to be reckoned.
Don't cross us. Because we will
stab you. So what else are we going to talk about?
We have so much to talk about, but you know what? Let's get a word from our sponsor. Chicken orzo soup, burrata caprese, meatball ricotta toast, calamaretti. No, these aren't wigs I'm talking about. These are brand new dishes at Ma's Italian Kitchen, located at 267 North Pass Avenue in Burbank, California. The phone number is at Ma's Italian Kitchen is 818-567-2288. They provide private dining and they also cater private parties. Michelle created an amazing menu and I want you to tell them Queen ShanShan sent ya. Hunty! Edward, because it's my birthday and your birthday, we're just going to really spill some tea tonight.
I'm ready. We have the towels out. Spill it, girl.
We're going to spill it. And you know what? And no offense to anybody, but we're going to spill the black tea. You know why I call it the black tea?
Ooh, because it's beautiful and has great skin and doesn't wrinkle and
that all too,
has a lot of sass.
Black tea in the world is known as to be the most highest content of caffeine.
Oh, nice.
So tonight's black tea. So I'm a black woman, obviously. And we're going to spill the hot black tea, and because we have so much to talk about, we're going to talk about the Madonna minute. The Madonna minute's going to be longer than a minute, y'all. Going to be honest. Why?
Because Madonna dropped a song today, y'all.
We've been talking about Madonna's new anticipated album for months, basically since the show has its beginning, and she finally freaking dropped it, and the song is hot.
But just one song. Not the entire Madamax.
Exactly.
It's just the M, I guess, in Madamax. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Wendy Williams drama, the saga. She's officially called it quits from her husband, Kevin Hunter.
Ooh, I know a little bit about this, but you're going to have to educate me and our audience because I remember she passed out last year on that show, and I was like,
I remember remember she had the whole Statue of Liberty outfit on?
Yeah.
And she was, come on.
Mess.
A hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember on her show last year, she passed out. It was a national joke and
I
meme.
remember. I thought it was a fake.
Everybody thought she was faking, and she actually passed out and was ambulanced right out of there. So who knows if it was, an alcohol relapse, if it was she was actually having a anxiety attack.
Right.
I don't know, but it's interesting.
I've had those. They're not fun,
it's very telling where we are right now.
Very telling. What else?
We talk about the beauty industry because we're going to talk about all these celebrities, like really from J-Lo to Drew Barrymore to Rihanna, even Madonna, her MDNA line. All these celebrities are getting into the makeup game.
They really are. Like they don't have enough money, but
right.
you know.
But you
Makes
can't
sense.
be mad at them because it's a lucrative business. And then, unfortunately, a few days ago, a historical monument, the Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was on fire.
I know. Broke my heart.
Literally, Paris was burning.
Yeah, Paris was burning.
And we're going to talk about that.
I know I had one question, and I told this to Danny, and I was like, did Quasimodo get out? And that's all I was concerned about. And I was like, too soon? And he was like, yeah, too soon.
Too soon, it was 500 years ago.
But it's like, Victor Hugo, I'm a big fan. So, I was concerned about Quasi.
Yeah. So my brother actually posted something because that's one of his favorite movies from Disney.
For sure.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's funny you mentioned that. And then we're going to talk about Tiger Woods.
You're going to have to take the lead on that because...
I'm going to take the lead on that. I don't know much about golf.
I don't either, but we can figure it out.
But I
know he's
story.
been in the news.
Yeah.
And it's a great triumphant story.
And that's what we want to focus on, the
right.
inspirational story behind his triumphant return.
Yeah.
So all this and more after the break. I am so excited to introduce this brand new sponsor, Michelle Castillo. She's a friend of mine, but she's also an estate planning attorney, and her practice focuses on helping families for the future. Her areas of practice is estate planning, trusts, wills, healthcare directives, power of attorneys, guardianship nominations, trust administration, probate, and asset protection. She has over 15 years experience in the real estate, mortgage, and insurance industry, and she's a good friend of mine. Contact Michelle Castillo today. She's also bilingual in English and Spanish. Her phone number is 818-384-2686. Once again, 818-384-2686. And her website is michellecastillolaw.com. Tell her Queen ShanShan sent you. Hunty! Edward, it's just us again.
I know. I feel like I'm home.
I know you are home. Hands across America.
That was... Oh, my God.
Yes, I saw S. It was
phenomenal. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That was the whole premise.
I know. That's the whole premise of the whole movie is a
Spoiler
joining
alert.
effort. Yeah, that's right. Spoiler alert. If you guys haven't seen S, sorry, we spoiled something.
Sorry.
But it is... I liked the movie. A lot of people didn't, but a lot of people did like it. But it keeps people talking. So if you guys haven't seen the movie Us, I would definitely do... You know what? We have a special guest here. He's behind the scenes. Mike Bryant. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Did you see the movie S?
She couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist. I have to acknowledge.
We have a sound engineer here tonight.
Yes, Mike Bryant's helping us.
Mike Bryant is here.
Hello.
Did you watch the movie S?
I did not.
Okay, well then you guys gotta watch it. It's really good. Anyways, thanks for being here, Mike.
Thing.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. I will add that to our list.
Add it. But
yeah, it was a great movie.
I love the whole 80s
Me too.
premise and me
too.
Set in the 80s and
I
then
think
now.
That was great.
That was
great. Anyways, last week's show, we want to definitely reference last week's show, Michelle Castillo. The title of the show was called Do You Trust Us? And it was about an inspirational story of how Michelle came from El Salvador, started in real estate market, lost everything, and then regained everything back by becoming an attorney.
And then she started in the movie Us. That's why we used Us. No,
yeah.
Kidding. So anyway,
so she fought against the odds and became a well sought after attorney today in estate planning. So Michelle, thank you so much for being a gracious host.
And Michelle, if
host.
you are listening to this episode, you should be happy to know that my aunt in Texas texted me last night and said, my Aunt Jane, who I love and worship, she texted me last night and she said she really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoyed the show. People are listening to it more and more, and I like because it's educational.
Yeah.
On this podcast, it's not about fun games and silliness and gossip and talk about makeup. I really want people to.
We're all that plus a little bit of education.
I want them,
too.
I want them to learn.
Yeah.
I want them to say, "Hey, Queen ShanShan, because of you, I got this, or because of you, I bought this, or blah blah blah." Speaking of that, Edward. Mm-hmm. It kind of made you drive into getting a life insurance policy.
I sure did. I signed up tonight, y'all.
You sure are.
Sure did.
You sure did.
So
Thank you.
don't come killing me because, yeah.
Oh my God. Can we get also, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna drink some black real tea, some caffeinated tea, because we kind of skimmed over our history last 4 or 5 months. How's your health been?
My health has been stellar, actually. Thank you for asking.
Give the listeners what actually happened 3-4 months ago.
So I was having heart palpitations, and it does run in my family, heart disease on my mother's side. So I was quick to go have it checked immediately, even though actually it wasn't immediately. I waited about a week, which I shouldn't have done stupidly.
A week. I know.
But I'm a guy, so I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. And then Danny was finally like, you better go to the doctor. So I did. And then they ran some tests. I had my heart was a little bit out of whack. And so they put me on a 2-week monitoring patch. It goes right on, they shave my chest and then put the patch on my chest to wear. And it monitors your heart status, in real time. And if you're having palpitations, you hit it and, so it can really dive into what's happening at that moment. So I did that for 2 weeks. And then I went back for another calcium test where they put you through a tube. And it's kind of like it's a CAT scan, but they call it a calcium scan, and it checks all the vessels in your heart and your arteries and everything like that to make sure that you don't have any, or if you do or you do not have calcium, which is clogged arteries. So thank the good Lord above, everything came back perfect. Like that 0 calcification in my heart.
It's great.
0, and it's good. This is good for 15 years, and at the end of the day, the doctor came back to me and was like, "You were having really bad." Heartburn at the time, and I guess they find that out through blood tests, and I was taking just over-the-counter medication for it.
But, like the purple pill?
Yeah, whatever it's called, Nexium, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Nexium and whatever the other ones are. And when I went to the plant-based diet, all that acid reflux went away, and everything cleared up, and so I am in good health. So thank you for asking.
Are you still eating plant-based right now?
I am. I mean, I've graduated to fish, so I eat fish and shrimp, any kind of shellfish and stuff.
What
but
about
I
your
have
sugar?
not. Sugar, I have. I also have cheese, so that's cheating.
Yeah.
But gotta have my cheese.
I love
Gotta
cheese.
have my cheese. I have sugar, but maybe I'll do a cleanse eventually and not do sugar.
But you did feel better eating a plant-based diet.
Absolutely.
I love being. I've had bouts of being vegan. I'm not a big red meat eater. I love my chicken. I love my fish. Unfortunately, I love the pork. The other white meat. You love
the swine.
I love the swine. Honey, give me a piece of bacon anytime.
That bacon is so good.
Let me swim in some bacon grease.
I know, right?
Okay?
It's delicious.
It's delicious, but it's horrible. I was actually reading a blurb today about bad news for you bacon eaters. It can now lead to colorectal cancer. I can understand that.
I know.
I get it. Mm-hmm. You don't want poop cancer.
You don't want that, but it tasted good going down.
The pooper cancer. No, you don't want colon cancer. Sure don't. That's horrible.
Spare the swine.
I know. There's a reason why the religions of today don't eat pig because of that. Because it is an unclean animal.
Well.
But I love bacon.
I do too.
I love pork belly. I love sausage.
So good.
So damn good.
Oh, by the way. 1, 2, cha. We'll talk about that later.
That means it's close to our let's just talk about it. Let's get into it.
You sure? Right now? Just jump in.
We're going to get into it.
Just dive in.
The Madonna Minute.
The Madonna Minute. It's already here.
It's already here.
So we're going to move things around on the timeline and talk about the Madonna Minute.
Oh, my God.
Because it's fresh on our mind. What happened this morning, Shannon?
This morning, on my birthday, Madonna said we're going to do something for Shannon's birthday.
She did. She woke up and she was like, you know what? I was going to drop it a little bit later, but what time? I'm going to drop it at 9 a.m.
I'm going to drop it at 9 a.m.
California
Shannon's going to
time.
wake up and she's going to hear my show, and it's just for Shannon Langhorne. Thank you, Madonna. I appreciate that. And you will be on the show, by the way.
Yeah, she will.
We're manifesting that. Madonna's new single was released today, and it's called Medellin. Oh, I think it's Medellin.
Yeah.
Medellin. And, God, I hope we're saying it right. It's the new single that dropped today. This song, she collabed with Maluma, which is a very famous singer. He's also a DJ in Colombia.
Oh,
so
right.
the whole Central America, South Americans,
there's a few people
they know him very, very well.
Very well. He's very popular.
I don't speak Spanish, obviously. I didn't know who Maluma was, but I have heard other songs that he's done with other artists.
Right.
So he's very, very famous. And of course, Madonna wants to be on the cusp of anything new and exciting, so she's going to choose him. So on YouTube, we are having an exclusive little taste. This is exclusive on YouTube, so this is not on the iTunes, obviously. But let's take a listen
We're
to.
not stealing this from anywhere.
We're not stealing from you. It's on YouTube,
and we're happen to be playing it out loud right now.
Just for a few seconds.
Madonna,
Don't sue me, Madonna.
I don't think we're gonna sue us, but anyway.
Slow down, Poppy.
You hit it right there, Poppy.
Ooh, girl.
Madonna. You know how to do it right, girl.
She does.
I think it's going to be a great hit for her.
I think so too. And like our sound guy just said, the remixes are going to be off the hook.
Yeah, they will. They'll be out tomorrow. And so the album is actually going to be dropping in June. So she's given us
June 14th.
June 14th.
Yeah.
She's given us a good 2 months to listen to that song, and maybe she'll give us some other hints, some other drops.
Drop another song.
Of course she will.
In the interim,
What have you been reading? What the critics been saying so far?
The critics have actually really been liking it. So they're digging the vibe of how it's like chill, relax, and it's like groove. And Madonna managed to do Madonna without taking too much from not her world.
Right.
This isn't anything new for Madge. I mean, it goes back to 1986. La Isla Bonita was exactly this, but this is a current version of that.
It's not
like she's just like all of a sudden all about this, the Latino. I mean, she married a Latino, obviously, but it goes back years and years and years. And then she did Spanish Eyes in 1989 on the Like a Prayer album.
Yep.
And there's
La Isla Bonita.
Yeah, La Isla Bonita. She has many references in her songs.
I was just looking at her Instagram again. We're going to take back to where she was giving us these hints the last few weeks, and now it's fully revealed what the album is about. The album is called Madame X is a secret agent traveling around the world, changing identities, fighting for freedom, bringing light to dark places. She is a cha-cha instructor, a professor, a head of state, a housekeeper, an equestrian, a prisoner, a student, a teacher, a nun, a cabaret singer, a saint, a prostitute.
Oh, we all.
Shannon to the T.
Absolutely. Your resume, like you said.
Like I said last week, that's my resume. So, work, Madonna. We are so excited for your new work. We cannot wait. And we will be the first one to buy a concert ticket.
Oh, I was just making sure I had enough room on my black card, because there's no limit. But I will go to the limit.
Those tickets will not be cheap.
I just have to put this out there because it's palpable for me. So I wanted to talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's not on our outline.
Okay.
But Beyonce dropped something today too.
That's right. Oh my God, thank you for saying that too. Beyonce and Madonna was all about my birthday today. They love Shannon.
All about it.
They love some Queen ShanShan today. That's right.
So,
talk about it.
And I had somebody at work say to me, I was like, "Oh, how's your day going?" I was like, "Oh, it's great. Madonna dropped a new song, and Beyonce dropped a new album." I'm like, "Who's that?" I don't know. No shade against Beyonce.
Ooh, honey, do not get the beehive over here.
She grew up down the road
They will
from me,
tear
so
you
I'm
apart.
I'm all about Beyonce, but she ain't no Madonna.
Oh, honey, you better be careful. The beehive will attack you in 2 seconds. I'm all about Beyonce too, but she didn't drop a new album. She dropped the video footage of her last year's Coachella performance.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it is.
That she stole from Madonna, literally, from the Super Bowl performance. Have you not seen that?
You are dropping some serious shade.
I am throwing some shade.
Where's my fan?
I am throwing some shade.
Bam, bam.
If you saw the Madonna Super Bowl performance from...
Which one? She had the other one. The one where she was all in gold.
Yeah. You look at Beyonce's Coachella performance. A lot of similarities.
But Beyonce also had 100 people on the stage in bleachers, and they were dancing and they were cheerleading, and they had all kinds of performances. I haven't seen the Netflix. I've seen.
You saw like she had a
clips.
marching band and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right. Madonna sure
did all that at the Super Bowl years before that.
You're absolutely correct.
So,
but you know what? If everybody follows or copies everybody, let's be honest. Who's the original?
That's true.
Who really is the original?
Madonna.
You know what? I'm not going to argue. Madonna is the OG.
Yes, the OG.
She's the OG.
I mean, I'm sure she did snatch it from somebody.
Of course she did.
Bob Fosse. I mean, obviously she worships Bob Fosse.
All of her influencers were Bob Fosse and Barbara Streisand.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Madonna is 60 years old. She's not a youngin' anymore.
And it was more like being tuned in. Like, it's like, I think she's always possessed a level of like understanding she tuned into a frequency that nobody was really tuned into in the masses. Well, and she made it a masses thing, like
Edward.
voguing,
she again. I mean, part of our earlier episodes we talked about Madonna. I thought when I was 10 or 12 years old, when she came out, everyone thought she was black.
Right, everyone did.
So that she did tune into something.
Black.
Everyone thought she was black until we saw Borderline. We saw all the videos on MTV, and I'm like, who is this white girl dancing around like she's black?
Yeah.
We were all
Where's
stunned.
Madonna? No, that's Madonna.
That's Madonna. Yeah. That Madonna.
That Madonna. Thank you, Linda, for saying that.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, so she does stand out from the crowd. She always has been. She's always been she always reinvents herself. And a lot of artists that we've seen come and go through our very long life on this planet, they're like, bye, they're whispers in the wind.
They are.
But Madonna remains constant.
Because she's an artist. I think she's a true artist, and she's never been acknowledged fully for her artistry. But she was going back in the day. She was partying at like Studio 54. With Warhol.
With Warhol,
even like as a club rat. You know, she was
and
paying
his
her
best
dues.
friend Basquiat, the other artist.
Yeah.
So she's got some history that people don't recognize.
A lot of history. I mean, she came to New York when she was 19 with $36 in her pocket.
Right.
She kind of made something out of herself.
That's right.
So I've always kind of like had my eye and ear on Madonna all these years in worship as an artist and a music maker and a song maker and a controversy maker.
She sure is.
And a businesswoman. You know,
she's a perfect businesswoman.
She is. I told you that when I first started business school, the first case study I ever studied was on Madonna, and I realized that I'd made the right choice about going to business school.
Wow.
Yeah, I literally cracked open my book that night, the first day of class, and first thing that we were going to read about is a case study on Madonna.
No way. So when she's in my house one day, you got to tell her that.
Yeah, I will.
Well, that's your Madonna Minute.
Take this higher.
So I watch enough TV. I listen to enough podcasts. I listen to, the gossip sites like TMZ and, Page Six and other things. And I've always been intrigued about the Wendy Williams saga.
Yes.
You know who Wendy Williams is, right?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so she's got a morning talk show.
Right.
Very successful. It's one who says, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm sorry, but she's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, she's not my favorite.
She's not my favorite.
I mean, I love Sally Jesse Raphael better.
I have to. You just so aged us again.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Sally Jesse. Is she still with us?
No, I'm sure she is on the planet, but she's not on the airs anymore.
She's not on the air, but she's still alive, though, right?
Yes, she's still alive.
Okay, Sally Jesse's still okay.
Is.
Well, hi, Sally, if you're listening. Anyways, Wendy Williams is a very big, morning talk show host, and her biggest thing is she also spills the tea. She drinks the tea on the show. She talks about her hot topics,
right?
And she's become a hot topic herself.
Yeah.
Recently, about 4 or 5 months ago, she had a hiatus for a good month or 2 months, and everybody was speculating what was really going on. Was it medical reasons?
This is after she passed out on the stage.
This is after she passed on the stage, because that was like last year sometime when she was wearing the Statue of Liberty outfit, and she's talking, and all of a sudden you can see her face, and she passes out, and everyone thought she was faking.
So bizarre.
Everyone thought I thought she was faking.
Cut on that, by the way. Cut to
You're not
commercial.
gonna cut. They're not gonna. Cause that was
That's why I
live,
thought
that
it was
was
fake.
live TV.
I know. That's why I thought it was fake. I
That
thought
made
maybe they
everybody
would cut
even more in tune about
Right.
who was Wendy Williams.
She won the ratings. It was
Honey,
ratings.
that was the best show.
Ratings week.
It was ratings. It was ratings week. So everybody, ever since she passed on the show, was it drugs? Was it alcohol? Was it stress? Was it heart palpitations? Did she have a heart attack? Did she have a stroke? And she wasn't on the show for a few weeks after that. She came back on show, and then I think she addressed it. I don't know if she did. And then all of a sudden in November, December, and the beginning of the year, she was on the show. And she, again, I think it was a 1 or 2 month hiatus. Don't quote me, but I think it was that. And so the speculation rose again. What's going on? Is her marriage failing? Is her husband cheating on her? There's been rumors over the years that Kevin Hunter, her husband,
Right.
has physically and emotionally abused her.
Okay.
And
Not good.
and Charlamagne the God, who is a radio personality, if you guys ever listened to The Breakfast Club, he had a history with Wendy Williams because he used to work on the Wendy Williams show 10, 11 years ago.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Was he like a producer?
He was actually, he did some skits with her. He did
okay.
like,
He was actually on
he was
on-
like, he was
on
like,
camera.
he was on the camera. He
Okay.
did skits with her. He did on the street type of live interviews.
Got it.
And Kevin Hunter fired him because he speculated that either he was flirting with Wendy Williams or he.
So her husband's like the exec producer of the
well,
show. or
hello,
the-
Wendy
you know.
Williams made Kevin Hunter who he is today.
I,
He was married to her, and she made him the executive producer of the show.
okay.
He's a made man because of Wendy.
He's like a proactive Stedman, per se. Because Stedman.
No, Stedman is his own
like
man, though.
But you never hear from anything.
Well,
from
maybe
him.
that's well. He's also Stedman's got it going on though, and then that's
He
why
does?
Oprah likes it because he's quiet. Kevin Hunter is not quiet. Kevin Hunter actually has a very bad reputation in the industry
Oh, tell me
as an
more.
asshole.
I don't know much about him.
I remember. Did you ever watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen?
Yeah, I know the show. Yeah.
So apparently, Andy Cohen had some work history with him as well.
Uh-huh.
I guess on some other projects, and even Andy said that Kevin Hunter was not a nice person. Like he's troublesome. Like, he's a problem.
There's trouble.
There was rumors on the set that Kevin Hunter was this tyrant, not
Okay.
very easy to work with. And then Charlamagne the God has always said Kevin Hunter was this and this. Said he basically was the worst human on the planet
Oh, wow.
for years, because Kevin Hunter allegedly said that Charlamagne was inappropriate and was introducing her Wendy to the men, and then he fired him. So ever since then, Charlamagne and Kevin Hunter had bad blood. So it came to find out that cut to today, Wendy Williams has filed divorce
Right.
because Kevin Hunter has had an affair, at least a public one that we all know about because he has a baby now
With
some other lady.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She had a baby 2 weeks ago. Wendy found out and relapsed.
What?
She went to she's been in the sober house for she revealed recently that she's been living in a sober house for weeks.
She with Brittany? Well, that's another
Girl!
topic. That is another topic.
Oh, honey, well, let's keep one story at a
Oh my
time,
God.
okay?
Okay.
God, you got some Britney Spears news? Oh my goodness gracious, this week is insane. But so Wendy Williams was in a sober house for a few weeks. She finally revealed on the show, but also cameras caught her coming out of a van to go spend the night at the sober house. So she had to admit that she's been, dealing with some drinking or drugs. Who knows? Or maybe prescriptive drugs. We don't know exactly.
Can we just talk about that, like, real quick?
What?
A sober house. Like, what does that look like? You know,
It's a rehab house.
I
But now
know,
they're
but
calling it a
like,
sober
what
house.
is that? Like, you go there, and what happens?
You're probably with a bunch of people who are battling alcohol or addictive issues, some substance control
Like,
issues.
it's like for rich people.
It-
So, like, literally, what is it like? Is it like going to the
I think they
Hamptons
literally-
in a mansion, and there's a bunch of people
It was in New
smoking 'cause
York
they
somewhere.
can't do drugs?
It was in New York
or
in
drink?
the boroughs. I think it was in Queens
It was in
or
Queens?
Bronx or
Uh-huh.
somewhere.
Right.
So I don't know if it's in a ritzy, nice neighborhood.
Probably is. Do you think she'd be slumming it? Probably not.
She's a millionaire.
Yeah.
She's a self-made
So I'm
millionaire.
just wondering, like, what does it look like? You go
I
down
bet
and
her
you're
she's
like,
got the best therapist.
you're stripped down of everything.
She's in
They
group
check your
therapy
butt
too.
and everything.
You're in a sober house. You can't have your phone with you.
Nothing.
You can't have jewelry. You can't have makeup.
Uh-huh.
So she looked horrid when she was coming out of the van. She looked like
It's
she was
not like
tired.
you're arrested. It's just like you get
No,
it. You
have
surrender
to,
it all
you
yourself.
surrender, yeah, every day. So she would go work at the show.
She would.
She
and then she'd go
she,
sleep there.
This is why it was secret. It was
Really?
secret until TMZ or someone caught her going to the sober house, and she the next day said, "The cat's out of the bag. I'm going to a sober house."
Wow. Okay. Well, Wendy Williams, we hope you're well.
Wendy Williams is a Wendy Williams. She's, what pisses people off right now because she is a gossiper. Mm-hmm. She does spill some tea. She's caused some controversy with other celebrities that she's had on the show, and straight up told them what up. Like the wigs were snatched on the show. And so now people are like, well, maybe this is her upcomings. This is her karma.
Right.
Now she is the talk of the town going through this. But I feel sorry for her because, again, people in the camp is saying Kevin Hunter is a horrible person, mm-hmm. allegedly, that maybe there was some physical abuse, mental abuse, and she's just had it. And now that this lady came out and said she had a baby. What happened, basically, Wendy relapsed the day the baby was born.
Well, of course. They don't have kids together, do they?
No, they have a teenage child.
They do have a teenage child.
I think he's like 19, 20 years old.
All right.
So I think, obviously, he was keeping it under wraps. This woman had a baby, and she just lost it. And she drank, and she went back to the sober house.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack.
It is a lot. I don't know how I would deal with that. If I found my husband cheating and has a baby, I would cut his balls off and serve it to him and shove it down his damn throat. Yeah.
That happened to my family.
Someone shoved their balls in their throat?
Yeah, my throat. Okay. I'm kidding. That's another topic. No, my dad had an affair. And, my mom. And I have a half brother. And we found out when I was 12.
You found out you had a half brother when you were 12 years old?
Yeah, and he was 2 years older than me.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
14-year secret?
A 14-year secret, girl.
That is an episode we got to talk about. I'm not going to say names yet, but we are going to have a cheater episode.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I think we should totally have that. That's going to be in our third season.
Rampant. It's like
it is rampant. I mean, half the people who get married or divorced because of either money or infidelity.
Sure. And with the advent of social media, you would think it wouldn't be on the rise as much as it is. But
why would you not think it's on the rise? Because I think it's even worse because of social media.
Because people are easier to track that way.
More after the break. Advanced Business Solutions is a family-owned business located in Inglewood, California. Let me tell you something. They come with over 20 years collectively of professional experience for tax preparation, payroll services, translations, business filings, mobile notary, and accounting services. They have been keeping me on the straight and narrow for over 12 years. I trust Jessica and Marian Asnaya with my money. And so should you. Contact them today at 310-915-9800 or email them at abtaxsolutions@yahoo.com. They can be found on Facebook at Advanced Business Solutions. Tell them Queen ShanShan sent ya. Hunty! I love makeup.
I've heard.
My bathroom is full of all kinds of brands, from MAC Cosmetics, obviously Jeffree Star, to Laura Mercier, to some high-end Estee Lauder, to all kinds of crazy stuff, right?
All the brands.
Is it a surprise, Edward, that people want to get into the business?
Sure not.
It's not a surprise.
Okay, so if Kylie, or is it Kylie?
Kylie Jenner.
Okay, so how on earth, is she a billionaire according to Forbes?
How on earth?
That's not true. I can't buy that.
You can't wrap your head around that?
No, I can't buy it.
Because she's rich. Because her family's rich. But let's get into it. Kylie Jenner, I don't know if you like her or not. You have to admit that she is a hustler. She had an amazing marketing team. Her makeup line constitutes $1 billion. She started with a lip kit, with a lip liner and liquid lipsticks, and now it's this insane enterprise that she's created.
Right.
But who else wants to follow suit? Let's talk about it. We have celebrities joining every day and wanting to invent their own makeup line. As Madonna, she's got a skincare line called MDNA. and it's high end,
stuff.
high end, like $300-400 stuff, right? J-Lo. She collaborated with Inglot, which is a European brand, very, very famous European brand makeup.
I think I've heard that.
Inglot. It started last year. Now, you know, Jennifer also has all kinds of other spoils of income coming in. But I was shocked that she partnered with Inglot. Inglot is very, very well known in Europe.
Right. Is she just endorsing, or is she actually?
She endorsed it. She had her own
like her
Jennifer Lopez brand.
Got it. Okay.
That started last year.
All right.
But who also started last year? Drew Barrymore.
I love Drew Barrymore. She was like my first girlfriend crush.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about earlier Firestarter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved her.
Her company's called Flower.
Oh, okay. That makes sense for her.
Right, because she's kind of flower
She's a flower child.
very hippie.
She should bring like Cameron Diaz into that for some reason. They're besties, and I don't ever hear from Cameron Diaz anymore.
Cameron Diaz is laying low,
and she's so pretty.
She's very pretty. Maybe she's laying low. She made her millions, and she's good to go.
She's like good. She's
Maybe
good now.
But Cameron Diaz also had a book about body,
right?
And she was talking about health and being super fit woman.
Yeah,
you know, she's gorgeous no matter what she was.
Yeah,
But anyways,
right.
Drew Barrymore wanted to be in the beauty industry. She's actually starting to do something with furniture too.
I like that. She's a very girl next door, so I can see that working for her. You know.
And then Rihanna with Fenty Beauty, that blew everybody out the water.
Fenty's good doing.
Fenty's doing good, honey. Fenty is doing beyond good. That's why everybody's asking, "Hey, Rihanna, when are you going to drop some music? When are you going to drop some music?"
Right.
She's like, "Soon." No, soon. She's going to do it. She has this interesting video with Danny Glover called Guava Island.
Okay.
They actually premiered it at last week's Coachella.
Oh, okay.
It's a 45-minute type of musical interlude type of movie of a story with both of them. And some kind of experimental film that they did. Anyways, Rihanna has been just blowing up the beauty scene.
I love Rihanna. I mean, she is so pretty, talented. Seems to have that above it, you know, mentality.
She came from a long way. I mean, Rihanna's still she's in her 30s, I believe. Early 30s. But
30s.
she changed the beauty world because she introduced 60 shades of foundation.
Oh, that's a lot.
From fair to the darkest,
I wouldn't know what to
deepest
pick.
skin.
How do you pick?
You go to Sephora and you say, "Give me some shades." That's what you do. You taste foundations.
60 shades.
She introduced 60. That was unheard of in the makeup industry. Unheard of. She broke racial barriers with that makeup, and she continues to. So congratulations, Rihanna.
Yeah, is that what is it
on
like
your Fenty
blending
Beauty?
The colors? You get to like there's all this palette
There's
of 60 colors.
shades of foundation.
And
well,
like whatnot.
Again, we could talk about this on a different episode. So when I start doing some videos, I always get 2 shades of foundation because
foundation is like
the liquid.
Okay.
The base.
So I'm thinking of like your palette thing that you have.
No, that's eyeshadow.
So that's eyeshadow.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But no, foundation is what is the base of your face.
Got it. Okay.
Base of to match your skin color.
Okay.
So a lot of like from L'Oreal to Lancome to CoverGirl, these huge multi-million-dollar brands, they've always had limited shades of foundation.
Limited shades of foundation. That's a good book title.
Limited shades of foundation. That's a good book title?
Yeah. I like that.
Limited. I don't know if that's a good book title. No.
Like a movie, like 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, there should be 50 Shades of Grey, but not 50 Shades of
Foundation.
I would think that would be a snooze, Edward.
That's going to be Rihanna's movie.
Oh, good Lord.
Limited Shades of Foundation.
Anyways, Katy Perry also collaborated last year with CoverGirl. Okay. And Camila Cabello also teamed up with L'Oreal.
Is she still getting like miles out of that Havana song that came out 9 years ago? It's like the only song I know of hers.
She's had some other hits.
She's cute.
She's had some other hits.
Super
she won
cute.
the Grammy. She won a Grammy this year.
I don't not throwing shade. I'm just like it feels like she keeps getting awards for it, and it's been like out for 2 years.
It's a big song.
It is a big song.
Havana, una na.
That's
a good song. I mean, I sang it when I was in Cuba 5 months ago, so that song was a hit in Cuba.
Still a hit there.
So, anyways, these beauty influencers are now true celebrities, and they want to get a piece of the pie, and I cannot get mad at them at all.
No.
Good for them.
Because if you got the dough to build the pie.
Absolutely.
You know?
But if you also want to create more diversity in the makeup industry with with Rihanna and Drew Barrymore and other people of different ethnicities, right on.
Right on. Get after it.
Because Queen ShanShan may have a makeup line in a few years.
I have no doubt.
Right?
And a brush to go with it.
And some wig line and some wigs.
And some, duh. It's like you buy. It's like a starter kit.
We're going to have makeup and the Queen ShanShan wig line. Are you guys listening here?
Yeah.
All of these beauty influencers, are you listening? And I think I would also do, because we got makeup, we got
Claws.
wigs. Oh, nails?
Yes, girl.
A nail design type of line?
Yeah, why not?
I do my nails. I like getting my nails done.
I mean, why not?
Why not,
If you're gonna
right?
go big, go big.
I'm going to go big.
Yeah, nobody's doing that.
Okay. Don't
Seems
steal
like-
this idea, people.
Yeah, well, it's out there now, so you got to do it. It's patented already. We already sent in this stuff. It's copyrighted. Don't even try.
Trademarked.
And we did it. Okay.
So, speaking of makeup, let's talk about Jeffree Star real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So, I have the Jeffree Star palette. Where's my palette
It's
at?
right there.
Oh, where is it? Okay. So, you guys know I'm obsessed with Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is a self-made millionaire himself.
Yeah.
You know, he comes out from the streets, had some issues when he was a kid and a young adult and a younger man, but he's made this amazing multi-million-dollar company out of nowhere. I mean, the man's company is allegedly making $100 million a month.
I can see that.
Okay, so he has a new palette called the Blue Blood palette.
Ooh, it's blue.
I have been actually teasing everybody about this because we have a giveaway. And the Blue Blood palette is basically a bunch of blues, some pale colors, deep purples, some light greens and dark greens, and just an amazing array of colors. And this is a coveted palette. Devin Edward.
Devin Everett is my name.
This is a coveted palette because it was sold out in one day.
Oh wow,
One day.
that's interesting.
Everybody went crazy over this palette.
It's pretty. It's blue. I'll describe it. It's light blue,
And it looks like a coffin.
It does look like a coffin.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a coffin, but I was trying to be BC, but you said it. It looks like a coffin.
Feel it, how heavy it is.
It's heavy. You could be buried in it.
Feel the
Got
quality of
a
it.
nice blue latch on it. You'd want to get into this giveaway. I'm telling you. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's got a mirror you can check yourself out in. All the swatches have a star on them, or some lips, or I don't know.
Put a little dab on your finger and explain the consistency and the pigmentation
All
of the
right, I'm gonna
colors.
use this. It's actually really soft. It's like it's sort of like when you burn wood and there's like a fire. You know, like it's.
I don't
it's
think anybody
smoldering.
wants anybody to
It's
compare
like, you
makeup
know-
to burning
No,
wood.
it's like soft, like that wood gets really soft.
Like an
from the
ash?
Yeah, it's like ashes, and you put it on. Like that's the consistency of it to me. So I don't know. Does it go in your eye?
It's his eyeshadow.
So it's
You are hilarious. A gay man doesn't know
Yeah,
anything
I'm-
about. That's another misconception. Obviously, we talked about. Just because you're a
Right.
gay man doesn't mean you know about makeup.
I don't know a damn thing about makeup. But this is a really soft to the touch. I don't know if that was a good analogy about comparing it to burnt wood or ashes.
There's a great consistency,
Yeah,
which means it
it's
goes
soft.
on your eyelid very well. When you deal with dark blues and just light blue eyeshadows, you have to really tap it into your eye because they can have fallout.
Oh, is that what it
I've
is?
noticed with this palette, you guys, girls and boys who wear makeup, this palette has minimal fallout.
Okay, there you heard
That's
it first,
huge.
guys.
That's
Queen
huge.
ShanShan.
Yeah.
Minimal fallout from this
Yeah.
Jeffree Star Blue Blood line makeup.
So what we're doing is we want you guys to have a chance to own this coveted palette because it is sold out. Jeffree Star said he won't have this back in stock for another 3 or 4 weeks. So guess what? You guys will have an opportunity to have this palette for free.
Ooh.
It's valued over $52.
Wow.
For an eyeshadow palette, that's pretty pricey.
That is pricey. Now, is that the actual one there that you would mail out?
No, this is mine,
That's
honey.
yours.
No
Okay,
one's
I was
getting
gonna say,
mine.
You're going to have my fingerprint in it. But, you know,
No, God, I don't.
don't be murdering anybody.
No. I got a
having that
brand new unopened
Oh.
Blue Blood palette ready to be shipped.
Yes.
The winner will be announced on May 1st.
May 1st
But-
isn't far away, so
No,
you
it
better
isn't.
get to listening.
So what you guys got to do, this is really easy. All you have to do to qualify to win this amazing palette is go on my Abroad Podcast IG account, my Instagram account called Abroad Podcasts, like my page, and then slide into my DMs and tell me what the secret word is. And what is this?
What could that be?
What is this week's secret word? It is deceased.
Ooh.
You know why I say deceased?
Because it's like a coffin?
Well, not just that. It's one of the colors in the
Is it
blue
really?
blood. Oh my goodness, I can't even say
Blue
it.
blood?
It's a tongue twister.
It is. Blue blood. It's very
Blue
southern.
blood palette.
Is that like southern, like
No,
bougie
blue blood
people?
is a no.
Ritzy
It's a phrase for rich people, royalty.
Okay, so
you know
from
the
the
blue
royals.
bloods. So the royals
Okay, got it.
were rumored to have blue blood. That's what
Yeah,
made
blue
them
blood.
special.
Got it. Mm.
So we're going to have the secret word for this week on this episode, deceased. If you
That
guys
is like you're dead. Deceased. You die. You're deceased.
You're just this, we want to be deceased when we look at fashion, Madonna song. We're dead. We're deceased.
And if you spell it wrong, you're out. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I should change the word. That's a good point. Maybe a lot of people don't know how to spell deceased.
Oh, they do.
Well, I'm going to spell it for you right now.
Okay.
It's spelled Deceased.
Deceased.
And it is the popular color in the palette. So, once again, here's the rules. Before I announce the winner on May 1st, all you have to do is follow me on A-Broad Podcast on my Instagram, slide into my DMs, which means direct message. A lot of people don't know what DMs mean.
I said earlier on that live stream, if you don't know what IG is, that is Instagram.
I forgot that some people may be of the.
demographic.
I gotta know my demographic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
then
DMs mean direct message. Direct message me the secret word, which is deceased. Edward, have you ever been to Paris?
I have been to Paris.
When did you go?
Only in February, and it was freezing.
It was freezing?
I still loved it.
When? How many years ago?
It's been about 10 years now, probably.
Okay. I was in Paris literally 3 years ago. It was September 2016. And it was one of the most amazing trips I've ever made. I actually was there for a week by myself, and then I met the traveling group in Nice.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to make sure I saw Paris first, and then I met the group in southern France, and that was the most amazing
Isn't that
trip
so
I think I've
crazy?
ever made in my life.
I
One
bet.
of the top fives
Wait,
for
what
sure.
month was it?
September.
September.
The weather
Beautiful.
was spectacular.
Stunning. Okay.
With that visit, I was just devoured with rich French history, from the Versailles to walking through the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower. My hotel was right in the middle of the Champs-Élysées, the main street.
Paris just look like a set designer or a production
does.
designer just went crazy?
It is gorgeous. I don't know why-
just built the most beautiful city in the world.
I don't know why people didn't like. Some people say they never liked Paris. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Paris. It's beautiful.
I even though I went by myself, I didn't have a lover. I didn't have a boyfriend or
many
anything.
lovers in France.
But
in Paris.
there were, there's lots of lovers in Paris. My point is that I just adored it, and one of my top sights that I saw was the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yes.
And this week we had some really bad tragic news on this amazing monument that's been around for 850 years.
That's insane.
There was a massive blaze that started on the church, the old cathedral. The fire obviously is out now. It's been a few days, but the cathedral's iconic spire fell down, and it took hours for it to do that. But this iconic.
It's a symbol of Paris.
It is a symbol of Paris, because when you go and you look at pictures of the Notre Dame, that is what people see. They see the roof, they see the gargoyles, they see the spire, and that's
what
what
from all over the city. It's do you know that up until the Eiffel Tower was built in the 19th century? I think it was the 19th century. That was the tallest point in the city.
Well, no, this church's been around for 850 years.
Yeah, and it was the tallest before the Eiffel Tower. It was the tallest point in the entire
Really?
city. Yeah.
So that's also part of a night tour they have, because it's all lit up and everything. Right. It's just gorgeous.
Stunning. And it felt like the world was burning that day.
I was so sad to see that on the news. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So apparently, allegedly, it was because they have been renovating the church for years. Like when I went 3 years ago, they were renovating it too.
Right.
Like millions of dollars have been spent on this renovation. So someone left a candle burning. Someone dropped the ball. Someone's fired. Someone's head is going to roll.
Something that's like a tinderbox waiting to go up the flames.
It's spending millions of dollars to renovate, and then this happened.
The French love to smoke. Could have been somebody if they're smoking.
I don't know, but if this
cigarette.
happened in the evening time, and the roof is done. The roof is done. They were able to save some of the antiquities. Like if you remember, if you go in the church, you see that famous painting of the there's a famous painting of the popes and some monks.
Right. Okay.
I hope they were able to save that,
I'm
because
sure.
that painting's hundreds of years old.
Yes, I hope. I mean, from what they're not giving, or from what I've watched, they have been able to salvage a lot of the art that was in there. They're not saying what was lost yet. So
why is that, you think?
I don't know. Maybe just because of insurance reasons. Maybe I don't know.
This is, well, first of all, let's be honest. This is the Catholic Church. They
yeah.
have the most amazing. These monuments are priceless,
I mean,
and what's in them is priceless.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. We're going to talk about this real quick. That the government, like billionaires, have already donated hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
$1 billion, I think, as of this
They have $1 billion
morning.
donated to rebuild the
cathedral.
cathedral.
Morning, but they're saying that's not nearly enough.
To rebuild $1 billion isn't enough to rebuild that cathedral.
Yeah.
But they've only spent millions on it to do the renovations.
But here's the catch: they want to rebuild it. They being the mayor or the governor or the president of, I guess, of France. They want to rebuild it in 5 years because you know what they have coming? The Olympics. So they want to have the Olympics.
They're having the Olympics there?
Mm-hmm. Then it's us, and then
I thought it was them. You mean, and then us?
Yeah. So in 5 years they want it be done in time for the Olympics, because that's
Makes
a
sense.
Major tourist draw.
Of course it is.
It's a symbol of Paris.
It is.
And so my fear is that they rush through this and don't build it properly if they're going to try to do it in 5 years. When they say that the architects are all saying it could take 15 years, to rebuild it the way it is. So their argument is,
but it did take 200 years to build that cathedral.
It did. Yeah, and are they going to use wood
with
now?
no technology?
With no technology.
Yeah.
Or do they use steel?
They're gonna use technology. I'm just saying, 900 years ago,
yeah,
they did not have the technology as we do now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't see, maybe to make it perfect, they say it's gonna take 15 years to rebuild, whatever.
Yeah.
Point is that no one's gonna be able to go in that church for years right now.
Yeah, it's true.
It's unsafe.
It's the God's grace that it was spared. The front was spared, and they call it Our Lady. Our Lady. Yeah. The front of it was spared. Mm-hmm. So that's the
rose window, which is iconic. The statues, which is iconic, with all the popes and the saints.
Yes.
And the front, the very famous Adam and Eve. A scene has been saved, thank goodness. But you were mentioning some relics that might have been saved.
I did manage to watch some of the news last night, and as unfortunate as the event was, there were some things that happened that were kind of very spiritual. I found one was that at the very top of the spire there's a rooster, and the rooster is the symbol of France, the national symbol of France, and back, was it 1935? I think that was put in there. There were relics put in the rooster, okay? And they're not sure. The rooster was found pretty much undamaged but dented, okay?
Okay.
And there are relics inside of it, and they're not sure. They're not saying yet if the relics were salvaged, but amongst the relics were a relic of Saint Denis, one of Saint Genevieve, and what was believed to have been one of the 70 thorns from Jesus Christ's crown was added in 1935 by the Archbishop of Paris inside that rooster. One of the what's believed to be the crown thorns,
I understand, yeah.
One was inside.
One of the thorns, supposedly, that Jesus was, when he was tortured at the stake, worn to when he was walking through the streets of Jerusalem. One of those thorns were supposed to be in the oh
rooster.
My God! Well, how are they going to find that?
The historians say that the rooster and its treasure served as a spiritual lightning rod to protect the faithful of the 850-year-old cathedral and all Parisians, according to the cathedral website. So that's very interesting. And another kind of spiritual thing that I found was that the birds. There's all these photos of the birds kind of surrounding the cathedral that are they're not leaving Our Lady, is what they said. They're staying there to protect.
Interesting.
Because they're doves, they're white doves, and the white doves is a sign of Christ. Mm-hmm. And it's just you see the white doves just kind of circling, and that flame is super, super hot.
Right,
but they're not leaving the church.
Well, on another sad note, a few weeks ago there was 3 churches that were burned in Louisiana, black churches,
Yes.
Baptist churches, and they found the guy.
My roots.
Louisiana?
Well, Southern Baptist.
Oh, okay. My mom's too.
And my mom's from Louisiana.
Yeah,
so
my mom's from Mississippi, so she was raised a Southern Baptist too. Anyways, there was 3 very known churches that were burned a few weeks ago or a month ago. They found the person. His name was Holden Matthews. He was 21 years old. Allegedly, he burned these churches. He's in jail now.
Good.
He is actually the son of the deputy sheriff.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Obviously rumored to be a white supremacist.
Obs. Yeah.
Obviously. So he's in jail, and he is in jail because it was obviously considered a hate crime.
Right.
And unfortunately, the awareness of the churches didn't really happen till after the cathedral burning. Maybe I shouldn't say unfortunately, because they did a couple of crowdfunding resources like GoFundMe, some of the places like that.
Okay.
That only came up to like 300,000 or 400,000. Now reportedly they have $1.3 million that were raised now to help rebuild these churches.
Wow, because of the
cathedral.
The cathedral.
Yeah, it's made people aware to say, look, hey, we are sorry about the cathedral, the Notre Dame, obviously, but we have 3 churches here that needs money to rebuild.
Right.
So people have now, and you could say all you want about social media, the news, but sometimes it's a positive reflection that lets people know, that's right. This happened in our country.
In our country, and we didn't do anything.
3
about
black churches that were burned to the ground because some stupid kid, racist kid, burned them down. He's obviously effed up. Did you see his picture? What he looked like?
Pimply looking.
Nerdy looking. Probably has no friends. Obviously has no friends.
Yeah, like burning 3 churches down.
And then your dad is the sheriff deputy.
Yeah. He probably didn't even teach him any better than that.
No, obviously not.
It's unfortunate about those 3 churches, but with the inferno of Notre Dame, it's a blessing that they are being funded more.
Absolutely.
That's great.
So it's just sad that people are come on, you're gonna be. This is a 21-year-old. He had no friends, probably no direction from his parents. No. It said in court that his dad was the dad wasn't allowed in the courtroom. It was all videotaped. He was in another room watching the proceedings.
Right.
And his dad was cringing and rubbing his hands and just crying to see his son. I mean, either way, I don't know what kind of relationship he had with his son, but he's definitely regretting things now.
Troubling. He's troubled, that kid,
He's probably going to be in jail for like next 15, 20 years.
A while.
Anyways, that was about. I really wish the Parisians the best because that's their noted. That's their love. Again, what is it called? The first lady. Their lady. And they saw their lady burn.
Yeah.
So we want to definitely wish love and recovery to Paris and the French people.
We do.
And you are listening, so we have listeners in France. So
stay strong.
Bonjour, and we love you.
We do.
Tiger Woods won his 5th Masters title on Sunday, marking his first major victory since 2008 U.S. Open. So that was 11 years ago, right?
11 years ago, yes.
And obviously that was historic and amazing. Woods shot 13 under par through the tournament. I have no idea what that means.
I don't either.
I don't play golf. I don't watch
impressive.
golf. I guess it's impressive.
Is it impressive?
Is it impressive? I'm asking you. You're a white man. Don't you play golf?
Obviously, I'm a white man, so I play golf. Duh.
I'm a black woman, and all I do is cook. So
yes,
and dance. I cook, and you dance, and
you sing well,
and I sing well. That's all I do.
And that's all you do.
That's all I do. So we're stomping and punching through the stereotypes tonight.
That's what we do.
But Tiger Woods, my dad loves Tiger Woods. My dad watches golf. Do you watch golf ever on TV?
Ever. It's so boring.
Snorefest.
And I'm like, why do you have to watch it?
Why am I just like watching people play darts? Why would I want to watch people play darts on TV?
I don't even get it.
Golf, darts, and hockey.
Yeah. I'll pass on all those subjects.
Pass on all of those.
But you know, he's an impressive
Yes!
player, obviously. But I didn't know he had gone away at all.
Yeah, I don't know. He's gone away. He's been playing, but not to the level like he was 10, 12 years ago.
Of course.
Not to the level, let's be honest, before he had 4 back surgeries.
Oh, wow.
So he had back injuries. Everyone thought, would he ever play again? But he was playing, just not at that level.
Right.
And let's be honest, back in the day, he had that notorious affair.
Ooh.
Do you remember? It was videotaped that his wife, I forgot who his wife's name, but she was videotaped getting the bat and bashing the car in because he was drunk. And
I
he comes
remember
in,
this. Now, it's in Florida, right?
He was, Was it Florida?
I think so.
Yeah, so he was, it was 2009, and the National Enquirer reported that he had an affair with a woman who worked as a VIP host in New York nightclubs.
Ooh.
And it evolved quickly from there.
Ooh.
And then the video of his wife. He crashed the car. There was a car accident. He crashed his Cadillac Escalade near his house and was pulled from the vehicle. Oh, that's right. That's right. He was pulled from the vehicle. It was on video from his wife. His wife beat his butt.
She did.
Yes.
He probably deserved it.
Yes, of course he deserved it.
He did.
Again, we were talking about cheaters.
Right.
He's a cheater. Mm-hmm. And back in the day, it also showed like 20 other white women who slept with him too.
Right.
Most of them all hookers too.
Oh, Lord. You know what?
Or escorts. They were hookers and escorts.
Or escorts.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the only thing that I really know about Tiger Woods is, except that, with the exception that he's a great and, Hall of Famer golf player, is that he dated Lindsey Vonn. And I love Lindsey Vonn because I love downhill skiing. And she's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
And she was just in the last Olympics. She won a silver, I think. But he dated her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
gorgeous girl.
Tiger Woods, he's a little nerd. He's got big old buck teeth, and I don't know. Would you, if you saw him literally on the street, would you be like, oh hey, how you doing? The man's a millionaire.
Probably just a billionaire.
You think he's a billionaire?
I mean,
remember back in the day, also a lot of his sponsors dropped him. Nike really? Dropped him.
Well,
a lot of his
hundreds of millions of endorsements.
Yeah, so he's getting. Of course, he's going to get back the endorsements now because, I hate to talk bad about him. He's made mistakes.
Right. Sure.
He's 43 years old. He's made mistakes. And that's what I want to talk about. About the rise from adversity, Edward, because bad talkers, naysayers. We were just talking crap about Tiger Woods. We just literally were just talking about crap. Okay, so let's erase that.
Let's change the paradigm.
Let's change it. Tiger Woods was trained from his dad to play golf since he was 3 or 4 years old.
Like a machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay? And he performed well.
Right.
That's why we know who Tiger Woods is today. And then in the last 10 years, no one heard from him. Right?
Right.
And then what just happened 4 days ago? He wins the Masters that no one was expecting. My point is that a lot of people have criticized me on doing this podcast. Mm-hmm. People who I thought were my friends, or they're my friends. Okay, mm-hmm. They're my friends. And when I had this idea over a year ago, you and Danny were on board. Right. You're like, we're going to support you. We're going to do it. And I didn't even know you were going to be a part of this, Edward, to be honest with you.
Right.
I was just talking out of my butt.
You do a podcast and we'll figure it out.
My point is, Edward, you didn't naysay me.
Right. Of course I didn't.
You didn't naysay me.
Right.
There are people in my life that naysayed me, that said, are you sure you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Aren't you doing well in the insurance industry? Are you... I don't know if anyone said because I'm 46 years old. I don't know if they were thinking I'm too old to do this, whatever. But I got naysayed. And of course, my complex, my insecurity came into play.
It reared its ugly head.
The last 3 weeks on the show, people don't know because obviously it's all about the show must go on kind of attitude, right? Regardless if you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling happy, the show must go on. So the last 4 or 5 weeks in March and this month, and it may be because today is my birthday, I've been feeling very sad.
Okay.
I've been feeling very sad. I have been questioning my relationships with some people. I have been okay, how can I put it this way? I am very generous in my friendships with people.
You are.
I am.
I mean,
I've always have been.
You always have been.
If you ask me for $100, I'm going to give you $100.
Sure.
If you ask me to pick you up at so-and-so and so-and-so, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to be there.
You're going to, like, not just be there. You're going to change things. Schedules.
Absolutely.
To
okay, well, let me make sure I cancel this appointment so I can pick you up and do whatever. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for my brother and my mom and dad. Obviously, my family is number one. Mm-hmm. Okay? My friends come second. I do that for my friends.
Right.
So, of course, I expect the same.
Sure.
And I have been criticized to say, well, why you shouldn't expect that from your friends. And I question that. And I'm like, well, why not? If I'm bending over backwards for you, why can't you do the same to me? Why am I not on your level? Because I put you at the peak. I've asked people to help advertise the podcast. I've asked people to forward it and to say, or acknowledge that, hi, Shannon, you're doing a good job. Now, everybody has their ways of saying different things. I get it.
Right.
But for me, if I see you're doing well, I'm going to text you. I'm going to call you.
Right.
I'm going to say, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. Case in point. I'm not going to tell her, I'm not going to say this person's name because I don't want to embarrass her. But my friend who was on the show recently had a great accomplishment 3-4 weeks ago. Okay, in her business. Great. She put it on Instagram. She put it on Facebook. And I was like, woohoo, girl, you get it. Go, congratulations. That's amazing. And this is where social media is so skewed because we don't know who's watching social media. We don't know. You could point. Okay, case in point. You could put, I did this today. I lost 50 pounds. There are people who are going to say, congratulations, wonderful, good for you.
Right.
And then there's going to be people who just scroll down and don't even acknowledge it. Okay. She made a point saying, wow, Shannon, you're the only one who said congratulations. And I'm all, I did? Because I was really happy for her. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't envious. I was genuinely excited for her accomplishment.
People are fundamentally jealous.
Speak on it. Latal Arbib, medical esthetician, specializes in facials, lash extensions, body waxing, eyebrows, and all sorts of great things for your face and your body. Latal is offering $25 off for new clients who listen to this podcast. Just mention you heard it on A Broad Podcast, and you will get $25 off your first facial, waxing, eyebrow shaping, or lash fill treatment. Tell her Queen ShanShan sent ya. Hunty!
I think people like to watch things happen and go by and wait for a person to fail and then jump in and be like, I'm sorry, it didn't work out. It's just like...
Ooh, they cheer for your failure?
Silently.
Ooh.
Silently. I can't say that of any of my friends, but it feels like we're in a world of like, nobody's really rooting for you until you do something bad, and they're like, ooh, people are first to like point out the failures than the accomplishments.
That's awful.
And I okay, this is completely off topic and off the cuff, but case in point, we went to the Antelope Valley this weekend to take pictures. Oh my god, I saw those pictures. Super cute pictures. I had negative comments on stepping on the poppies and like, killing the poppies. And like, yeah, I posted it on Facebook and on Instagram, and there were several negative comments about, oh my god, you're killing the poppies. I mean, I get it, it's a state flower, it's protected, but we were in a zone that you could just freely go on
You and hundreds of other thousands of visitors.
Yes, there was so many visitors.
They're amazing blooming this
year
because of the rain.
I made the mistake and said I was, and tagged it that I was in the reserve when we really weren't, where I took the photos. And it was just sucked about people's comments. You'd think I was out slaying elephants and cutting their tusks off and selling them in the black market. I was out literally taking photos of flowers and beautiful things of nature in the world and trying to show it off. And people were like, oh my God, why did you go off the path? Why? And like, I'm like,
you got those comments.
Yes.
And these are your so-called friends?
No, they weren't. They were
Oh,
just, they were
just-
just out in the world. But there was one guy that I think that follows me that was, you know, a quote unquote friend. And then I was just like, you know what, people, you
Did you
need to
take
get a
the
life.
pictures down,
I just
or
no,
did-
I left it up and I was like, you need
Okay.
to get a life. I'm not slaughtering elephants.
You're not
They're
slaughtered.
flowers.
You're not, yeah.
And that's a little bit off topic about what you're saying about, but it's kind of in the same vein of like, you know, you're doing something, you're putting it out there in the world, and so what if this isn't their taste, or they don't listen to it because they don't like the topics or anything like that. But yeah, I would be the first one to acknowledge your success and say like, you know, good on you for doing this, because it's not easy.
I've stopped sharing
Yeah.
the posts. I stopped texting my friends on it
Right.
because I would get crickets. I would get no acknowledgement. I know people are busy. I trust. I'm busy.
Right.
Like I am the busiest person ever right now in my entire life, doing my regular gig and doing the podcast. I'm busy too. I'm going to bed at times at 2:00 in the morning because I'm working on the dang podcast.
Right.
This is a hobby still. It's a fun hobby, and I want to continue it as a hobby. And I would welcome it to be a lucrative venture for me. Obviously. People become millionaires because of their hobbies.
Right. A lot of people don't have vision as well. Like, you know that, right? People can't see, you know, like they can't look at this and think, how is that ever going to be successful? Because they've never done anything successful in their life as well.
Preach.
You know, so they do their job and they go home and they're miserable. I'm sounding like I'm throwing shade, but I know the people that can be that way. The things that you're getting these feelings from. I know,
And you know some of these people personally.
and I know them probably personally too, and I can tell you exactly who they are. But
We're not going to say any names tonight. That's some
You know,
serious tea.
that's when you just you put your head down and you keep going.
So I just stopped texting them. I
Yeah.
just stopped texting them, you know, because I felt I was getting no energy. I was not getting any love. I was not getting any
Yeah,
acknowledgement.
then that's
I stopped doing it.
Negative energy that you're getting.
I stopped doing it because I don't want to bring negative energy to this amazing positive outlet that I
Right.
created for myself. I have a lot of insecurities about my weight, about the way I look, my hair, my makeup, my voice, my living situation, which is obviously fine and dandy.
It's fine.
I live where I live.
Right.
I've done very well for myself.
You have.
There are people who may look down on me that I'm still living in an apartment. Who
Not-
cares?
That's
I'm not.
the way it is.
But my apartment's amazing.
Right.
My car is amazing. I travel all over the world. I've wonderful parents. I have a loving brother, and I do have very, very, very good friends.
You do.
Who are truly cheerleading for me. I really do, Edward. I really
You
do.
do, and you have to acknowledge those,
And
and
thank
not
you
let the
so
ones
much.
that are not bother you.
That's the hard part of this. And going back to the whole Tiger Woods thing, he had, or he still has, probably some genuine rich millionaire friends that have been patting him on the back and saying, you're going to do this again, you're going to do this again. But then because he's in the social eye, that it's a lot of negative, you know, people out there saying, you're never going to do this again.
Yeah.
So my point in this whole...
like washed up or whatever.
Yeah, they
you
figured.
know.
So maybe people think I'm washed up. Like,
Maybe.
why are you doing this? You're 46 years old. Stick to what you know, Shannon. Stay in your lane. as
Why
they
not
say.
do this? Is what I say.
Why not do this?
Yeah.
We have
for
had
it.
Michelle Castillo. Let's talk about it. We just had Michelle Castillo, who came from nothing and is now a sought-after attorney. We had Kendra Waldman, who talks about sex and masturbation and self-love and has a book coming out.
Yes.
We talked with Nicole Dunn, who is a PR mogul in this industry, doing so well, came from nothing.
Yeah.
We
Inspiring.
had Victor Barillas and Arsenio Cruz, who came from Central America, one on a plane, one in a trunk.
Yeah. And they're very successful people.
Very successful. They're doing very, very well. Accomplished all kinds of obstacles that I'm an American citizen. I didn't come to this country in a trunk.
Right.
But
Just
Victor
born into it.
and Victor is doing amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else have we had in the last few episodes?
Gosh, we've had
had so many people here.
We've had an actress, an influencer. We've had a
Yes.
music enthusiast.
Yes.
We had a teacher.
We had Danny
the heart
teacher.
of America.
Heart of America.
You know?
And teaching the youth in this
teaching the
very
youth.
hard time to teach children because the attention span is just not there.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a great friend, Kirk, on the show.
Yes.
Which hasn't been on the show yet.
No, Kirk, we're going to have Kirk would be on the show in a couple weeks. An interior designer and home stager.
And it's just like,
talks about him. We have Robert Fiedler, who came from Texas. You guys, you haven't heard from that show
story
yet?
is
Incredible. Robert's story from being living with his aunt who became his mother.
Yeah, the odds were stacked for him, and he persevered.
How many brothers and sisters do you have? 6 or 7 brothers and sisters.
Hodgepodge from 6 or 7.
And then Robert is a very sought-off real estate agent in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so
we all have stories, and we want to encourage people. And I've met some incredible people in my life, and I know it just breaks. I'm a human being, though, Edward. I'm a human being.
Right.
And when I don't get that reciprocal pat on my back, I should say, or you're doing good, Shannon, I get down in some dumps.
You do, and I try.
I cry.
You cry, and I can feel the energy when you're that way, and I try to snap you out of it. And if I seem like a hard ass, it's just me trying to just snap you out of it. But it's like, I know where you're coming from. It's felt that these people they kind of like suck the life out of you,
because
you're a person that breathes life. You're a big personality, so you're used to filling a room, but you're also used to filling a room. You can feel what people are doing and thinking.
Yeah.
And
I read people really well, and I love to just. I think we've talked about this early in episodes before. When I am in a room, when I am in a party, and it's low energy, I'll turn that freaking music up. Let's dance. Let's tell some jokes. Let's tell some stories. Right. That's just the way I've always been.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a very shy person. I can be shy.
Right.
I can be reserved. But when the mood calls for having a good time, I want to have a good time. Right. I want to actually get to know you. I want to get to know John and Sally and Susie. I'm engaged into their lives. I'm not just, next. Thank you, next.
Right.
Like Ariana says, thank you, next. So I guess my whole message in tonight's podcast is I'm officially 47 today.
You're 47 years old.
In 3 years, I'm going to be 50 years old.
Yeah.
I got to get my AARP card.
Do we get it at 50?
Do we get it at... I thought we get it now.
Oh.
Do people retire at 47? I guess if you're rich. I'm not rich yet.
I guess you can. You could, I guess.
But I don't know. My AARP card, I would not be surprised if I see that in the mail tomorrow.
Wow. I mean, I'm older than you.
Did you get your AARP yet?
Nothing.
Not yet?
Nothing showed up yet. I'll be 49 next week.
Oh my God. Happy birthday.
Next Wednesday. Or Tuesday.
Next
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday,
Happy
David.
birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a good show. This is a good one, guys. I hope you all tune in and hear the show. But
thank you.
ShanShan is telling the things from her heart, and I appreciate you doing the show and being a constant, because that's what it takes.
It does.
You can't just do something 10 times and expect to have your wallet filled, or 19 times. In our case, it takes one step in front of one foot in front of the other. Keep on doing it, and keep on doing it. I am the first one to quit something.
Are you really?
I think I am. It's just a nature of my instant gratification. Sometimes I don't stick with things long enough until I see it fully realized. But at the same time, I'm really persistent and usually do see things to the end. But I always have to sort of come back to them to finish them. Just saying I'll drift off and do something else and come back and do it eventually. But I'm just inspired by you actually doing this.
Thank you.
And it's made a difference in my life. And
thank you.
It is a challenge. It's a lot of work, but I feel rewarded each week. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And thank you for being my partner and my friend in this.
You're welcome.
We've learned a lot from each other, haven't we?
We have learned a lot from each other, and that's really what it's about. That's why we're kind of on this little strange rock, right? To kind of learn things like that.
This is a really interesting experiment.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I appreciate you being a part of this experiment.
You are welcome.
Broads, thank you for listening and continuing to subscribe to the podcast. I would love to thank right now my amazing co-host, Edward Carr.
You are welcome. You never have to thank me, but I always appreciate it hearing it.
We had a good one tonight.
Yeah,
huh?
it was really good. I was like, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, it's running long. But you know what?
It's always running
Who
long.
cares? Season 2 is about length, not girth. You know.
Season 3 will be about the girth, right?
About
Okay.
girth, yeah.
So please join us next week as our guest co-host will be Andrea Bernholtz, entrepreneur and fashionista. This girl is polished.
Oh my gosh, I love her. I did meet her a few years ago.
Yes.
And I mean, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
When Rockin' Republic was at its height. She is the founder of Rockin' Republic Jeans. It used to be a big deal. I think she sold the company. She and her husband. So I'm really a fan of hers.
I am, ever since I met her through Kirk and some other friends.
Uh-huh.
And she's just polished. She's
Right.
just so on it.
Yeah, so on
And we had lunch a few weeks ago and found out she's a fan of the show.
Love that.
Love that. Thank you, Andrea. You are going to be an amazing guest co-host.
We'll
Thank
roll
you.
out the red carpet. And by that, I mean lay some towels on the table.
Absolutely. So, I'm Queen ShanShan, and thank you for listening to Abroad.